Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad and on Instagram Movies TV Mad, X, on YouTube Movies TV Mad, and now on TikTok Mick Isn't Perfect, which is a lot different to what I do here, but yeah, it's fun. I talk about different things and it's very, very random because Mick isn't perfect and he's proud not to be perfect, unlike you lot on the internet who believe you're perfection, that you have moral high ground all the time. No one's right all of the time, hardly any of the time. Just try and remember that. Be passionate, but be constructive. Anyway, today we're going to talk about Doctor Who, because by the time you watch this video, you would have seen a 5-minute segment from Doctor Who. I don't know what it's going to be, you don't know what it's going to be, but it's very exciting. And although there's no way I'll be able to react to the actual segment because the BBC would not allow the video to go up, I will be reviewing that 5-minute segment tomorrow once I've seen it, which is very, very, very exciting. I'm happy that RTD is back. I have had my concerns about some of the things that have gone down, but it's now becoming, time for the hype engine to really rev up. This is exciting, because this is the month that Doctor Who returns, and the first return, of course, is tonight's Comic Relief. Is it Comic Relief or Children in Need? Whatever it is, right? Doesn't really matter. We're getting a 5-minute segment, and David Tennant, the 14th Doctor, will be part of that. So I'll be very excited to talk about that later on. By the time this video uploads, it's actually going to be the next day. I recorded it the previous day. Yeah, it's all very, very confusing anyway. So if you're watching this video, I will react to that Children in Need 5-minute segment. Very, very exciting. It's going to give us a little clue to what RTD2 is actually going to be all about as well. But there was a little bit of controversy yesterday. As Ncuti Gatwa was in an interview, was it for GQ, he confirmed that he shot a scene somehow with the first Doctor, William Hartnell. Will that be part of this Children in Need segment? I have no idea. Will it be in some kind of promotional material? I have no idea. Or will it be part of his new series? Or will it be part of the Christmas special? Or the specials? We simply don't know. He actually said a little bit more than that it was one of the first things that he did. So it's very interesting. Maybe it's just for a promotional segment. I have no idea. But it's very exciting. But if you're a hardcore Doctor Who fan and you hear the latest Doctor say, the first Doctor, yes, the first Doctor, that's something that has come into question since Chris Chibnall's The Timeless Children. That was a very controversial take, we all know. And in that story, it was confirmed that the Doctor isn't from Gallifrey, he isn't a Time Lord, he's someone from another universe and another planet, and the Gallifreyans stole his ability to regenerate and created Time Lord society. So clearly, you would say, if they're adhering to canon, then Hartnell wouldn't be the first Doctor, but Hartnell is the first televised Doctor, so in some kind of version, he is the first Doctor. To all of us who love Doctor Who, William Hartnell will always be the first Doctor. Some people deny the Timeless Child's existence, the Timeless Children's existence. I don't do that. It's happened, but we'll see what Davies does about it. He has claimed he's not going to unwrite it, but as I said before, he's going to do something so he doesn't have to touch it. People saying that Ncuti Gatwa is going to be in trouble with Russell T Davies for revealing this. What a load of nonsense. He's clearly been given permission to tease this. So stop being so stupid. The problem is with the internet and fandoms, you have to deal with stans who talk a load of nonsense. The so-called experts who have never been anywhere near this industry think they know it all. He was given permission to say it. There's no question about that. But it's a very, very exciting announcement. We are approaching the 60th anniversary special. Something else that Russell T Davies just happened to mention the other day, that the 14th Doctor is more human than the 10th Doctor. Now, he was trying to frame this as his attitude towards people, a little bit more human, a little bit more compassionate. But I think he's hinting at my theory from the very beginning. The most obvious theory of the 14th Doctor's existence is that he's the human meta-crisis Doctor. It would make sense in those terms why you would need Catherine Tate's Donna Noble as part of the story, because the human meta-crisis Doctor is part of Donna Noble. That was the destiny that they kept on talking about, that she kept on finding him, that he kept on bumping into Wilf, right? Or he bumped into Wilf, right? He'd seen Wilf before. That was the whole point of that storyline. So I think there's never been a doubt in my mind that this 14th Doctor, in fact, is the human meta-crisis Doctor. In fact, when I went onto Russell's Instagram, and he's very generous with his likes, he likes a lot of the stuff I say. I think he likes a lot of stuff that a lot of fans say. It's very good, as long as you're not toxic and you don't start making demands and talking shit. But actually, I'll say a very interesting thing he said to a fan the other day, correcting a fan. But anyway, I said the end of time part 3. So is it possible that these 3 specials are kind of the end of time part 3? It's interesting because we got this whole thing where Catherine Tate said, let's get the old gang back together. And apparently, during the Doctor Who lockdown specials, she was the one who decided to come back. I believe there's somewhat truth in that, but I don't believe that's the only reason she came back. I think she was always coming back. It was part of Russell's plan. There's no question about that. Russell T Davies is a storyteller that works on a plan. He don't just, an actress don't go, oh, I'm coming back, that's that, and he goes, all right then. He clearly knew what he was doing from the very beginning. Russell T Davies had a huge challenge in coming back. I'm assuming he came back to save the show, to fix it, to make it exciting and vibrant. Publicly, he's been very supportive towards Chris Chibnall. Chris Chibnall took away the Christmas Day episodes. Russell T Davies brought them back. I don't think we got anything half decent, really, with Children in Need or whatever it is when Chibnall was in charge. The old traditions that were there when RTD was in charge originally are back again. Every single one of them. No, there's not 13 episodes a year. The BBC and even Disney can't afford to be doing that. So we're getting, 7 or 8 episodes a year. That's absolutely fine. That's more than enough. Nice, solid rack of episodes. You don't want too many anyway because you get fillers. And then you lose your ratings and stuff. So I'm fine with that. So RTD's back. RTD has a good handle on what Doctor Who should be in the 21st century because he created what Doctor Who should be in the 21st century. Very clever, very smart storyteller. Now, there's been lots of talk. I mean, is it Lenny Rush or is it Rennie Rush? It's Lenny Rush, isn't it? The guy who's been cast to be a bit of a companion to the 15th Doctor. Now, when he was cast, some people called the casting woke. Now, that's very, very disappointing. Very disappointing, right? Because, first of all, he's very talented. He happens to be a smaller person, right, physically, but doesn't make it woke. And sometimes we've got to be careful here because words wound. There's a lot of extremism from the extreme left in the entertainment industry, I admit. There's a lot of propaganda from them, I admit. There's a lot of man bashing. There's a lot of race baiting. I admit all of that. But casting this guy isn't woke. And you really do need to wind your heads in about that. I think Russell T Davies has, Doctor Who's best interests at heart. As you can already see, there's quadruple the representation there used to be in his original series. He's even called himself up on it that there was a lot of white people being cast in his original show. But that's on you, Russell. Nobody else. I or no other fan told you not to be diverse. That was on you. But we live in a more, diverse era. People expect diversity, but we expect good actors and good writers to work on Doctor Who. We are not here to run any type of charity. We don't want poor white writers. We don't want poor diverse writers. We want the best on Doctor Who. And I believe Russell T Davies has built up a really, really good diverse team. I'm looking forward to it. Millie Gibson to me will be the star of this show. She was absolutely tremendous on Coronation Street. Rumours that she leaves mid-15th series. I don't believe that for a minute, but we will see about that. It would be a great shame if she was leaving already, although most companions only stay for 2 seasons anyway, and very ambitious young actor as she should be. And who knows, she may want to return, back to Coronation Street. Maybe that was the plan all along for her to return back to Coronation Street. But they do like to change, like they like to change the actor who plays the Doctor every 3 years. They like to change the companion every couple of years. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility. But, Russell T Davies, who knows himself, is that Millie is an upcoming brilliant talent. As I say, been brilliant on Coronation Street. She's a lovely girl, by the way. She really is a lovely, down-to-earth person to talk to. I adore Millie. I was on a live when she was announced and I started punching the air because I knew this was going to be brilliant. And I can't wait to see her on the Christmas special. So if you're a Doctor Who fan, it should be an exciting time for you. I'm sure, like me, you have your reservations about certain situations. But ultimately, we can only find out if it's going to work by watching it. Everyone's going to have different takes, there's no question. Tennant is back to distract from Jodie Whittaker's Doctor and Chibnall's era. He's trying to bring back people to Doctor Who. The casting of Ncuti Gatwa, a guy who became very popular on the Netflix series Sex Education, was purposely done to bring a new, youthful fandom to Doctor Who. Now, Ncuti Gatwa will attract his fans to Doctor Who. But the trick is keeping them. Because, people are going to be very, very intrigued, like they were with Jodie Whittaker. Jodie's first episode, The Woman Who Fell to Earth, had record-breaking viewers. But then it had a record-breaking nosedive because people didn't like what they see. So it is a big opportunity with having Ncuti Gatwa in this show because he brings a new type of audience to Doctor Who. But here's the question. Are they sci-fi fans? Can they sit there? Just because you like Ncuti Gatwa, it doesn't mean you're going to sit through a sci-fi show. I think, as I say, they will come in for the specials, and no question, the specials are going to have good audience figures. It's how, it's the quality of those specials that decides if Doctor Who is truly back in terms of hype and the numbers. Now, I've never seen anything bad that Russell T Davies has done. He's a very, very smart man. So we will see if all of this works. It's clear that he's up to something with these specials, that we're going to have a few twists, that we're going to be surprised, that he takes the Doctor Who universe to a brand new, exciting direction. But he said a lot of things already. It's not for families, it's not for kids. That's an interesting thing, that it's an adult show. What he's doing is a more adult show. That's interesting as well. Is he just trying to hype people up? Is he just trying to be controversial, or is he being honest? Time will tell. So personally, I'm excited. I love Doctor Who. I've loved Doctor Who ever since I saw Tom Baker fall from a great height and become Peter Davison. I fell in love with the show back then. Its premise is utterly unique, and that utterly unique premise has been kept with New Who, with the revival. Russell T Davies did the impossible, and if you want to relaunch something, continue it. Cobra Kai continues the Karate Kid saga well, and that's why it works. Reboots and forgetting what's gone before isn't a good look unless there's proper narrative reasons why you can't continue what went back before. The new Quantum Leap is doing solid numbers. It's continuing from the Sam Beckett era. and doing something new, but not denying its past. And that's when fans can come in and say, oh yeah, man, one of the characters in Quantum Leap was in an episode of Quantum Leap, right? So that's the point. Don't deny your heritage. Don't deny your history. And this is what happened with the Timeless Children. They wanted to deny what had happened in the past. They wanted to suddenly say, because we didn't have enough Asian doctors and diverse doctors and black doctors and female doctors, they decided to create, or Chibnall decided to create, the Timeless Children to rewrite history. Now, despite that, I think the Timeless Child idea was interesting if you did something interesting with it. But Chibnall didn't create that storyline to be interesting. He created it to be diverse, to rewrite history and say, oh look, there are diverse doctors. Ta-da! Magic. You can't label that at the show anymore. Look, the past is the past. Don't worry about what happened and didn't happen in the past. Worry about the future. You can be more diverse now. We live in a more diverse society, and that's okay. It's okay that we had a female doctor. Should have done better with her, by the way, but it's okay. It's okay that we've got a black male doctor in the lead role. He's a very talented young guy. No issue whatsoever. The point is, you've got to do your due diligence. You've got to make a piece of vibrant, exciting entertainment. And if that isn't your plan, and if all you want to do is bash people over their head, then nobody's going to be watching. Taika Waititi recently said his Star Wars film will piss people off. Well, son, it won't piss me off because I won't be watching it. That's the point. I think because of the era of entertainment that we live in today, I think we are not going to sit there and be wound up by these idiots and these ideologues. We're just not going to watch their shit. But I sat through the Chibnall era. I was bored throughout most of the Chibnall era, but it's Doctor Who, and I was a very loyal fan. There was many very loyal fans who didn't scream and shout, right? We just watched it because we knew it would be over eventually. And it was over sooner than it could have been if Chibnall had actually given us a vibrant, entertaining show, which he didn't. And that's the reason RTD is back. And RTD can put his arms around Chibnall publicly, but he no more agrees with the direction Chibnall went in than we do. If I'm so far from the truth, Russell, why are you changing most of the decisions he made? Why did you bring back the Christmas episode? Because you know it's right for Doctor Who to celebrate Christmas. You did that. To have a big scene, a proper scene with music and everything in children, in Children in Need, right? These things make Doctor Who the #1 show on British television. That's what's exciting. That's what's interesting. It celebrates Doctor Who, which we want to see. And Chibnall wasn't celebrating Doctor Who because Chibnall is a guy who does little mini, dramas, crime dramas, right? How many episodes did Broadchurch have? They did 3 seasons of Broadchurch? I think he made 6 episodes every 2 years or something. Right, let's be honest about it. He's not used to doing a show on this level. Yes, COVID was an issue, but he also took too long. He was a very prickly showrunner, saying that this isn't a democracy and fans don't get a say. Well, we know that fans don't get a say in the making of entertainment, especially these days. You don't listen to us, right? You think we're horrible, toxic people. We get that. But the moment you tell people that they don't get a say is the moment you may as well give up. Because guess what, Chris? You're not telling fan fiction. You are in the job of entertaining and educating the public. When I say educating, not with propaganda, but with history. You're on a time-travelling show after all. The Chibnall era wasn't all bad. There were some very good, interesting episodes. His master was outstanding. His master reveal was the stuff of genius. I enjoyed The Power of the Doctor. I thought that was a really good episode because that didn't focus on his doctor. That didn't focus on his underwhelming doctor. It focused on his epic master. And that's why it worked. But you have to ask Chris Chibnall why he didn't do any ground or work or character work on his first female Doctor. Why? Why wasn't she important enough to make interesting and exciting? Why was she wrapped in cotton wool? Why does she have to be the kindest person ever? Are women more kinder than men? Are we generalizing now? Are we stereotyping women? And this is the problem with ideologues. Most of them haven't spent 5 minutes with real women, apart from the ones in the entertainment industry. And, you know, that's a different beast. And when we talk about working class women who can relate to a female Doctor, you know, again, I repeat myself, but we heard that very few girls and women went to see the Marvels. So that's a problem, right? If women don't relate to women on the screen, that's a problem. Well, it's a problem because ultimately the people writing for these women are not relatable people themselves. They're just very aggressive, bitter ideologues, right? And they've never met a working class woman in their life. Jodie Whittaker's Doctor could have been amazing, could have been utterly relatable. Jodie Whittaker has got the acting chops to do that, but she wasn't given the tools, right? Publicly, she's going to talk, like Artie did, she's going to talk about her good friend, Chris Chibnall. But behind closed doors, before she goes to bed at night, she knows she was utterly let down by her creative, who decided to treat her differently because she was a woman. Feminists tell us all the time they don't want that kind of treatment, that they want the opportunities that the patriarchy have gotten, that straight white males have gotten. So how did Jodie Whittaker's Doctor have the same opportunities? She didn't. She wasn't given a character. She wasn't given a personality. She wasn't made relatable because she was a woman. They looked at her differently creatively because she was a woman. And that's why her Doctor wasn't bright, wasn't vibrant, wasn't entertaining, and it didn't work. And the whole series under Chibnall was dull. Because the truth is, he's a bit of a dull bulb as well. That's the truth. I've got no hate towards Chris. I think he's a talented writer. He's done well in the industry. An episode of Torchwood everyone hates. Cyberwoman, that's the one. I love it. I think it's an excellent episode. I think it's a great episode. And I enjoy it every time I see it. Most people hate it. Now, I know what he was doing with that episode. He was being Chris Chibnall. He wanted to say, well, there could be cyber women as well. And she could be a woman of colour. Well, why not? Why not? There's no reason, right? But he actually wrote a really good episode as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not saying he's a bad writer, right? But what I'm saying is he didn't give any vibrancy and excitement to Doctor Who. And this is why RTD is back. And RTD isn't going to say this because they're friends. So we saw him trying to raise Chibnall up. He's going to have a few mentions of the Chibnall era in these, you know, I think is it Bright Blue Yonder? Is it the first episode or whatever, right? So they are going to mention, I think maybe they're going to mention Flux. They may even mention the Timeless Child. He's not going to shy away from it. But I can bet you all the tea in China that RTD will do something so he doesn't have to deal with the Timeless Child. But it's going to be interesting what he does here. I think he's going to give Doctor Who a breath of fresh air, some kind of relaunch, some kind of restart, just like the episode Rose did when it came back. So let's briefly look at Rose and look at what that episode did when it brought the show back. It was still the same show, but it brought it kicking and screaming into the 21st century. I believe this is exactly what he's going to do with these 3 specials. Bring it kicking and screaming to this era, to the modern era. So one of the things he did was destroy Gallifrey so he didn't have to go back to Gallifrey, because that wasn't something that RTD was interested in doing. So I think he's going to make that type of decision again, not necessarily with Gallifrey, but in terms of the Timeless Children. He's going to do something that doesn't unwrite it, and we've spoken about this before, but makes it something that he doesn't have to deal with. So we could be entering the multiverse, the Doctor Who multiverse. we could be entering, another Doctor Who universe and not dealing with the universe that we've been in for 60 years, for example, which means the Timeless Children wouldn't be canon now. So I think that's what he's actually looking to do. There's no question. He's a very clever guy. He plays with words, but I can promise you, he doesn't like the idea of the Timeless Children any more than you do or I do. There's no question about that. Publicly, what these people say publicly is they have show friends, it's show business, it's we lovies, we love each other, all friends. Someone in this industry telling you that they love someone and the reality of you in the real world saying you love someone are two different things. There's no friends in this business. The ambitious have no friends. The ambitious pretend to have friends. They pretend that they're all friends, that they're one big happy family. That isn't the truth of the situation, because I know this game. They are the biggest of bullshitters. That doesn't mean I don't respect, admire and love Russell T Davies. He's been a great inspiration as a creative for me in doing my thing as a creative and a storyteller. So I think he's a great, vibrant, positive guy, and I love him and I adore him. But make no mistake, the support for Chris Chibnall is just for show. He doesn't want to show the fans who hate Chibnall and hate the Timeless Children that they've won in any way, shape or form. In a lot of ways, those people haven't won, because I was never of the mind that there shouldn't be a female Doctor. That was never my problem. Chibnall's era didn't fail because he had a female Doctor. Let's be absolutely clear about that. You can have anyone be the Doctor from any race, from any gender, because this person can regenerate, change their form and become pretty much any humanoid they want to become. Let's be clear about that. That's always been in the canon. So you can't say, a female Doctor doesn't work. It only works when it's a man. That's ridiculous. That's stupid. That's dumb. You can call me woke. You can call me PC. It's not woke. It's not PC. It's factual. Jodie's Doctor could have been the best Doctor if Chibnall had the motivation in making her the best Doctor, but he didn't. He went around it the wrong way. So you may think because that era failed, it was because she was female. That couldn't be further from the truth. But forget the negativity. Tonight, 5-minute sequence for brand new RTD2 Doctor Who, and I can't wait to see it. I have to be up a little bit later to see that, because here in Cyprus, we're 2 hours ahead. So what time does Children in Need start tonight? Is it 7 o'clock? So is it 9 o'clock in Cyprus? I think so, something like that. So I'll be checking social media and I will be reacting to that tomorrow. I can't wait to see that. That is going to be awesome, my friends. But what are your thoughts and feelings about this second era for Russell T Davies? Could he damage his own legacy? Could he make his legacy even better? We are in a very, very complicated time of the world and of entertainment. It's become very polarizing. Can Russell T Davies still make great Doctor Who in this polarizing environment? That's been one of my concerns. Russell T Davies, look, I don't think the guy is PC or woke. I think he's a left-winger. I think he believes in good things. He believes in kindness. He believes in compassion. But I don't think he's an extremist. I don't think he's anything like that. He's from the LGBTQ community, so he wants to support that community on screen. He wants to have more diverse casting. There's nothing wrong with any of that, right? What he's got to do is make Doctor Who, and I hate to say it like this, like the Trump thing, because I don't like Trump. Let's be clear about that. But oh my God, does Trump do that as well? Oh my God, I hate him. Anyway, if you love him, that's fine, by the way. I don't like him. But yeah, make Doctor Who great again. It's a kind of, Trump analogy, isn't it? But yeah, that's why he's back. Because Doctor Who took a nosedive. Because Russell T Davies knows how to make a great television series. He knows how to make it be viewed and be relatable. Now, Moffat will do whatever he goddamn wants within his story. He doesn't care. He's just going to do what he wants to do. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not so great, depending on your mentality. And in terms of Chibnall, I really don't understand what he was trying to do. I think he was trying to bring back the classic Who vibe. And in that context, in a lot of ways, he succeeded. But ultimately, it wasn't vibrant enough, it wasn't pacey enough, it simply didn't work for a modern audience.